Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to speak about common symptoms and complaints, a guide for medical professionals. So this lesson will provide you with the vocabulary and practice needed to accurately describe common symptoms and complaints in English. This is essential for effective communication between medical professionals and patients. Всем здравствуйте! Сегодня мы с вами поговорим о часто встречающихся симптомах и жалобах. И этот урок предоставит вам нужный словарный запас для того, чтобы описать часто встречающиеся симптомы и жалобы на английском языке. So, let's get started. The first one is fever. So, repeat after me. Fever. Fever. Fever – это жар, либо повышение температуры тела. Next word is chills. Chills. So one more time. Chills. Chills – это озноб. Next word is nausea. 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 Это тошнота, либо рвота. Next word is dizziness. Dizziness. So once again, dizziness. Это головокружение. Next word is fatigue. Fatigue. Fatigue – это усталость. Cough. Cough – это кашель. Shortness of breath. Once again, shortness of breath. Это одышка. Sore throat. Sore throat. Это боль в горле. Headache. Once again, headache. Это головная боль. Rash. Rash. So once again, rash. Это сыпь. Stomachache. Stomachache. Это боль в животе. Vomiting. Vomiting. Это рвота. Sweating. Sweating. Это потливость. Pain. Pain. Это боль. Burning sensation. Burning sensation. Это жжение. So now let's have a look at how these words and expressions are used in the dialects. In the first example, patient says, I have a fever and chills. У меня жар и озноб. And the doctor says, I understand. Can you tell me how long you have had these symptoms? Я вижу, либо я понимаю, как долго вы испытываете эти симптомы. In the second example, patient says, I am experiencing dizziness and fatigue. Я испытываю головокружение и усталость. And the doctor says, have you been feeling this way for a long time? То есть, чувствуете ли вы себя так на протяжении долгого времени? In the third example, patient says, I have a sore throat and a cough. У меня больное горло и кашель. And the doctor says, I see. Are you also experiencing any shortness of breath? Я вижу. Испытываете ли вы также одышку? And in the last example, doctor says, do you feel shortness of breath or chest pain? Испытываете ли вы одышку, либо боль в груди? And the patient says, no, I only have a cough. Нет, у меня только кашель. Many medical dramas feature patients describing their symptoms in detail. And these examples offer insights into common ways to express medical experiences in English. Watching these shows can be an excellent way to learn how to communicate in medical settings. For example, in House MD, a patient might say, I feel weak, I have a terrible headache, and my vision is blurry. And this detailed description helps doctors understand the patient's condition and pinpoint the underlying problem. So watching TV shows and watching movies will greatly improve your English. Okay, now let's practice the language you have learned today. Have a look at the exercise 1 you have to match the term with its Russian translation. Pause the video and do the exercise. Now let's check the correct answers. Fatigue is C. Fatigue – это усталость. Headache – that is correct. A. Головная боль. Nausea – that is correct. B. Это тошнота. Cough – это кашель. Dizziness – that is F. Головокружение. And the last one is rash. So rash, that is E1. Sip. Okay, very good. Now let's do next exercise. You have to fill in the gaps. You have to complete the sentences using the vocabulary from today's lesson. Pause the video and do the exercise. Okay, now let's check the correct answers. The patient has fever and chills. She is experiencing nausea and vomiting. He complained of a sore throat. Do you have shortness of breath? Okay, now you have to work with a partner. One of you will act as a doctor and ask questions like what are your symptoms, how are you feeling, etc. And another should act as a patient and describe his symptoms using the new vocabulary from today's lesson. So swap roles after 2 or 3 sentences. So in addition to basic symptoms, you may need to describe specific locations, intensities, and durations of symptoms. For example, if a patient might say, I have a sharp pain in my left leg, which started suddenly this morning, this provides a clearer picture of a patient's experience. And learning about common medical conditions and their associated symptoms can further enhance your communication skills. Research and learn about conditions relevant to your field, such as diabetes, heart disease, and respiratory issues. Confidence in communication and using your knowledge. So first one, you have to be active listener. You have to pay attention to the patient's description of their symptoms. Ask clarifying questions to ensure you understand their experience. Accurate terminology. You have to use the vocabulary learned in this lesson to describe symptoms and conditions accurately. And the third one is communicate clearly and concisely, ensuring the patient understands your questions and explanations. So in the end of the lesson, you have to practice using the vocabulary and phrases from this lesson in real-life situations. This could involve role-playing scenarios with colleagues, interacting with patients, or even watching medical dramas to observe how these terms are used naturally. Keep expanding your knowledge by exploring additional medical vocabulary, medical conditions, and clinical procedures. The more you practice and learn, the more confident you will become in communicating effectively in medical settings. So we'll talk about symptoms and medical procedures more in our next lessons. See you next time. Goodbye.